Men's brains, women's brains. Women's brains think, give, 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 give. They just love to give. They're happiest when they're giving. You get a bunch of women together and they're all giving to each other. Oh, I love your hair. I love your shoes. I love your outfit. Oh, they just love it. Now, men's brains are a little different. Men's brains think, take, 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 take. And you get a bunch of men together, and we insult each other. We do. You're fat. You're ugly. You smell. Thanks, man. You know, I mean, that's... So if women love to give, and men love to take, which way do you suppose the give and take goes in most relationships? That way. Women think the answer is to give more. If they give more, it will inspire him to give back. Ain't gonna happen. All right? You've got to learn, girls, that if you're going to be truly happy, you're going to have to learn how to take in your relationship. And women are fundamentally very uncomfortable in taking in their relationships. They just love to give, 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 give. But you'll give yourselves to death. A lot of you just burn yourselves out. It's not unusual to have a woman and her husband come into my office and, you know, she's been married, they've been married for 25 years, and she says, I've given it that bad. I have nothing left to give. You ever hear a woman say that? I have nothing left to give. They're burnt because they've just given so much. Then you look at the husband and he goes, I thought we had a good marriage. Because it's been great for him. She's given, he's taken, this rocks. All right? So now, girls, I'm going to show you how you can take advantage and change that flow in your relationships. I'm going to show you how you can get a man to do what you want him to do. All right? Now, when I first say that, all the girls go, yes. And all the boys go, you sold me out, man. You sold. But be cool, because the guys like this part. It's the women who hate it. I get more static from women over what I'm about to tell you, because fundamentally they hate taking in relationships. They think that he should just, you know, just give on his own. He should just give. You know, they're hoping, you know, when I say get a guy to give to them, they're hoping I'll say, bad guy, bad, bad, bad. You need to give more. And that's what a lot of these people do in some of these seminars. They beat up on guys, well, you need to be more. No, the real key, I mean, I think we've established it doesn't work, okay? The real key is to change the woman's perspective and empower you, because you, in fact, have the power to change this. But a lot of women have been so affected by over-romanticized concepts in marriage that they don't understand this. They really think that if he really loved me, this would all just happen automatically. If he really cared about me, you know, la 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 la. A lot of women really struggle with this concept because they tend to live in this false romantic fantasy land. Girls, you can either sit around with your hearts broken all the time, or you can do something about it. And I'm going to show you what you can do. 4 simple steps, how you can change this dynamic of give and take in your relationships. Okay, y'all ready? Here we go. Number 1, how to get a man to do what you want him to do. Number 1, you need to ask him more than once. Asking a man to do something once is like never having asked him to do it at all. Why is that? Men are always in such a take mode. We're constantly take. We compete taking. We're in business taking. We're just take. We're just in this take mode. And all of a sudden, his wife will say to him, honey, will you do such and such for me? And his left brain says to his right brain, you hear something? His right brain goes, nope. It takes more than once to get through to the boy. Now, a lot of women, they think that, that their husband, they're holding out on him. That we are sitting there intentionally not doing what he asked us to do, just because we're full of hate. But I promise you, when you asked it, it went in one ear, spun around his nothing box, and shot out the other one. And he doesn't remember jack about what you said. Now, when I was first studying this, I thought, this can't possibly be true. This has got to be inaccurate, because I'm married to a woman who has no problem asking me more than once. She said, honey, will you do such and such for me? I go, no. Come on, sweetheart, do this for me. No. She says, come on. She's got the thing, she pats my cheeks. You're such a good husband. Do this thing for me. Okay, then I do it. So when I was first reading this, they were saying women only like to ask one time. I thought that can't possibly be true. And I remember I was in a church in Green Bay, Wisconsin at the time. I was one of several pastors at a large church there. And I before service started, I thought, I'm going to ask some ladies, because this can't possibly be right. So I quick came up to a lady. I said, let me ask you a question. She said, yeah. I said, do you have a hard time getting your husband to do stuff for you? She goes, Pastor, you have no idea. She says, I asked that man to paint the ceiling. That was back in October. It's March. He doesn't do it. He walks in every day. She's just getting mad telling me about it, okay? And I said, okay. I get it. But let me ask you a question. Because remember, I want to prove what I've just been reading wrong. I said, let me ask you a question. How many times did you ask him to do it? And she stared at me like a dog at a new dish. She said, once. I was stunned. I says, why wouldn't you ask him more than once? She says, I shouldn't have to. I said, you might want to try that. I got away from her. Went to another woman. I said, come here. And she says, what? I said, let me ask you a question. Do you have a hard time getting your husband to do stuff for you? She says, Pastor, you have no idea. She says, I will ask my husband, honey, put away the laundry, and I'll stick it right in the middle of the living room. And he didn't do it. He just walks over the top of it. He just walks around it. It'll sit there for a month. And she asked me with all seriousness, she said, Pastor, can't men see laundry? I said, yeah, we can see it. Just doesn't mean a whole lot to us. So she's just getting angry, just tell me about it. So I said, okay, yeah, I get it. But let me ask you a question. How many times did you ask him to do it? And that same startled look. Once. I was amazed. I said, once? Why wouldn't you ask more than once? I shouldn't have to. Time was running out, church was going to start, and I grabbed another lady real quick. I said, come here. She says, what? She said, do you have a hard time getting your husband to do stuff for you? She says, Pastor, you have no... Apparently I'm a complete idiot because I have no ideas. But you have no idea. And she goes on to start living out the horrible transgressions of her idiot husband. And I asked the same question. Okay. But how many times did you ask him to do it? Once. I said, why? Why wouldn't you ask more than once? She says, I shouldn't have to. Ladies, are you listening to me? You have to. To just get mad and madder and madder and having a cow over nothing. He doesn't even remember what you said. You're thinking about it. But then I learned something. The reason women find this so offensive is because really, they don't want to ask the first time. It's true, you little sinners. Because over the rainbow, if he really loved me, I wouldn't have to ask. Like, oh, come on. Just ask him again. Ask him again. What's the big crime here? You know what it is you resent the fact that he's resistant to do it, because not only do you want him to do it, you want him to want to do it. You do. Well, I got news for you. We don't want to do it. We're never going to want to do it. If we wanted to do it, we'd have done it already. What do you care about the internal motivations of his heart? Stop! So he does it. I'll finally do something my wife wants me to do. I don't want to do it. I don't do it. And she just... Because she's getting something out of me. What's with this? Always analyzing the internal motivations of the guy's heart. I mean, getting yourself all kinds of trouble. I was in Germany some months ago doing some seminars for the troops who were rotating out of Iraq with the army. This one lady tells me, she says, you know what? She says, my husband, if there are dirty dishes in the sink, he cleans them and puts them away. I go, yes, and? She said, well, I asked him, why do you do that? And he said, because I hate dirty dishes. And she started crying. I said, lady, most women think they died and went to heaven if their husbands. Yeah, but I wanted him to say, well, I do it because I love you. Who cares why he does it? Seriously, you've got to let up on this stuff. Leave him alone. Who cares what his motivations are, what his desires? I'll tell you what most men's desires are, is to do nothing. Okay, have we established that? So get him doing stuff for you. Who cares why he wants to do it in his heart? Number 2, you need to ask him the right way. Now, what does that mean? That means don't insult the boy. A lot of women think they can use insult as a way to motivate a man. Like, what are they smoking? What is... Not gonna work. What's the matter with you? You some kind of idiot. What's the matter with you, a man? Can't you do... What's the matter with you? Can't you pick up the laundry? No, I can't. Don't insult. You know why women do that? Because it would work on them. If you insulted a woman, if you embarrassed a woman, she would change. She would do something about it. But you embarrass a guy, you insult a guy, we don't care. We just become more resistant. He's not a woman. Okay? Don't insult the boy. Insult is not a motivator for a man. All right? Number 3, you need to train him with positive reinforcement. What does that mean? Well, training a man is kind of like training a chimpanzee. If the chimp does what you want, you give him a reward. If the chimp doesn't do what you want, you just don't give him the reward. You don't beat the snot out of the monkey. Because then you got a freaked out ape. Every time you come around, he'll just, he'll run away from you. So, well, how does a woman reward a man? Very simply, by appreciating the pathetic things he does. Because men love to be appreciated. And the problem here is that women only like to appreciate unexpected kindness. If it's unexpected, they light up. Oh, oh, oh. But if it's expected, it's like, you know, seriously, I mean, that's, in the beginning of your relationship, that's how he got you to fall in love with you in the first place. See, because unexpected, everything he did was, oh, God, seriously, man, that's how you got her to fall in love with you. She knows you're ugly. How do you think you got such a beautiful woman like that? Because you were nice to her and everything was, But after 32 years, it's hard to come up with unexpected, man, I'm telling you. But the more you appreciate the kindnesses that he does, the more he wants to do it. Men respond. Men, I'm telling you, they love to be appreciated. Now, give you an example. I was at home, and I had a dirty dish in my hand. I was by myself, and I'd actually gotten trained to the point I could put it away in a dishwasher. And I went up to the dishwasher, and I opened it up, but it was full of clean dishes. And that's a moral dilemma to a man. So it finally dawns on my little brain, empty the dishwasher. So without being asked, I emptied the dishwasher and I put everything away. And then, of course, I stick around because I want to see what happens. Why? Because I love to be appreciated. So my wife comes home. She's la, 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 la. She goes over to the dishwasher and goes, you emptied the dishes. And she goes, you're such a good husband. and I eat it up. Now, guys, get a clue here. I know it's hard, but she loves unexpected kindness. You need to learn to give her unexpected things, unexpected little things. That's how you can keep a woman crazy in love with you in that way. I told my guys I want to write a book, 365 unexpected things a man can do for a woman. And I thought about it and I went, 52 unexpected things. We're going to do that every day, you know what? What was I thinking? You know. Because they light up, you know. Some time ago, when I was first doing this, I couldn't afford to take my wife with me. And so I was doing a lot of traveling by myself. And I was at a grocery store or gas station. I was paying for the gas, and I saw one of these rack of greeting cards. And this one caught my eye. It said, "My favorite place to be is wherever you are." And I thought, oh, I should get that. How much is that? Do you hear these women? I mean, the minute I did, oh, you ruined it! You just ruined it! It just, well, there's a motive on your heart! that's all. There's something wrong with y'all. Anyway, so $1.50, I went, okay, $1.50, I can do that. So I paid $1.50 and I signed it, I took it home and I put it in the kitchen. I want to stick around and see what happens. And she eventually comes in and la 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 la, and all of a sudden she goes, ah, a card. And she opens it up and it says, my favorite place to be is wherever you are. I got to tell you, boys, it was the best 50 I ever spent in my life. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Okay, now. Number 4, barter with him. Now, how does that work? Very simply, you become aware of something he wants to do. You know you got something you want him to do for you. And you just say to him, honey, would you like to do this thing you would like to do? Yeah. Well, do this for me, and you can do that. What's the catch? There's no catch. So now he's doing it. It's a trade out. It's just, you know, so guys like this thing because we know what the rules are. And men are used to bartering. You know, that's why we do what we do in life. That's why we go out and work. I got to promise you, if they didn't pay us, we probably wouldn't do it. You know, I don't care how much you like your job. If they didn't give you the cash, I don't think you'd do the job. It's all part of the bartering system. Men like that, okay? Now, the strongest bartering tool a woman has, we'll talk about tomorrow. Oh, that's terrible. I had one lady say to me, doesn't that make me a prostitute? I said, he's your husband, for crying out loud. Women have no idea the power they held over us. Just, they have no idea. I'm telling you, you can get a guy to do almost anything. You just come up to that boy and find something disgusting like cleaning the garage and say, hey, baby, how'd you like that? Why, yes, I would. Well, I'll tell you what. You go clean the garage, and then come and find me. Man, you got yourself a motivated boy. I was listening to Dr. John Gray talk along these lines. He's the guy who wrote that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Really a brilliant guy. And he was telling the story of how his wife came up to him and said, John, take me to the opera. And he said, I don't go to the opera. Hate stupid opera. Dress up like a penguin and go out there. And right there, a lot of you girls would have just went, I think I'll eat worms and die. She didn't. She knew about this stuff. She just asked him again later. Hey, John. Yeah? Take me to the opera. No. John. Yeah? Take me to the opera. Okay. So now she's a happy girl. Now he's all dressed up like a penguin, taking her to the opera, and right there a lot of you girls would go, where's my stupid husband to take me to the opera? You got such seriously, a lot of you girls, you envy other women's husbands because they're always doing things. But you don't understand. Women who get their husbands doing this stuff know exactly what I'm talking about. They do this all the time. You sit there with your heart broken because he won't do these things. You think he should just cosmically do them on his own. I mean, sound for the rainbow. So he takes her to the opera, endures this mind-numbing experience. On the way home, she's holding his hand, just lit up. And he says, when we got home, I pulled into the garage. As soon as the garage door closed, she reached over and grabbed me and made love to me right in the car in the garage. I assume they weren't driving a subcompact. You figure it out. But anyway. So anyway, the next morning he gets up early and yeah, I was wondering, how much are season tickets to the opera? Men's brains, women's brains. Women's